Hello and welcome to Moments of Truth on Labour Social. I'm Graham Hughes. After momentarily running out of puppy dogs to devour this side of the pond, the ravenous bug-blattered beast of trawl, aka Suella Braverman, has gone to America, where she stood up in front of a group of disgustingly rich men and women earlier today in an obliquely funded think tank and declared that women living under the violently misogynistic Taliban have nothing to fear. Gay men living under the violently homophobic regime in Tehran are just whining, and that 900,000 trillion people would love nothing more than to come to the UK and live in a tiny cold water bedsit in Scunthorpe, if only she alone wasn't stopping them through the sheer force of her monumental self-hatred. You see, in Cruella's demented little head, just because someone fears they might die, it's not a good enough reason to be considered a refugee. Braverman's own catch-22. The only way to prove you weren't a witch was to be drowned in the river. And in the same way, you can't possibly be a legitimate refugee unless you're already dead. The living embodiment of multiculturalism that is a British woman of Indian heritage who rose to the position of Home Secretary, replacing another woman of Indian heritage who also rose to the position of Home Secretary and serves under a British man of Indian heritage who is literally our Prime Minister, then went on to declare that multiculturalism has failed. If this is multiculturalism failing, what does it look like when it's working? Our national dish now being chicken tikka masala, a Chinatown in every major city, a black man from Rwanda playing Doctor Who. Heaven forfend! Let no pearl go unclutched. Cards on the table. I absolutely despise Cruella. She is the worst of us. She is someone who claims her family came here with nothing, but they somehow managed to scrabble enough money together to pay for her now £20,000 a year private school, where she was presumably taught how to be the most evil little shitehawk since Adolf Hitler. How she came to be called to the bar in 2005, despite being so dense that she has her own event horizon, is beyond me. But I guess the legal profession in this country is either desperate or ever so slightly corrupt. We'll go with desperation, since I don't want to be sued by every lawyer in the land. The Tory press subsequently made out that she was like this Premier League barrister, when the reality was she was a jobbing lawyer who worked on everyday parole and immigration cases. Funny that. She went on from being a mediocre lawyer to becoming a mediocre Tory MP, and as talent, finesse and common decency are in short supply in the modern Tory party, she quickly became Attorney General, albeit one that was happy to break the law she had sworn to uphold in a limited and specific way, of course. As such, she was the natural choice to become Home Secretary under the Blunder Truss, until she got fired less than 6 weeks into her tenure for breaching the ministerial code. But then just 6 days later, she was rehired as Home Secretary by Tichi Sunak, because there is quite literally no God. And now, here she is, gobbing off about how great statesmen like Winston Churchill got it all wrong, not by exacerbating the Bengal famine, which killed over 3 million people, but by not having the foresight to see that in the future, refugees fleeing persecution might travel across bodies of water in small boats. When the men who helped see off the Nazis signed the UN Refugee Convention in 1951. You know, because they didn't have any small boats in the 1950s, only massive ones with steep sides that the huddled masses yearning to breathe free couldn't climb up. Here is our Home Secretary claiming that gay men in the 64 countries that have laws that criminalise homosexuality are wrong to fear their freedom or even their lives. Here she is saying that women fleeing the use of rape as a weapon of war should damn well stay where they are. I guess in Braverman's twisted imagination, it's their own fault, really. If they didn't want to be brutalised in the most horrific way imaginable, they shouldn't have been born female in the wrong place at the wrong time. Here's our Home Secretary demonising the poorest and most vulnerable people on the planet, stateless men, women and children. Here she is standing in front of a think tank, an audience of grotesque millionaires funded by the likes of Eli Lilly Pharmaceuticals, the Koch Foundation, ExxonMobil, Chase Manhattan Bank, the good guys. Sasha Demuk, Deshmukh, the chief executive of human rights charity Amnesty International UK, said, "The Refugee Convention is a cornerstone of the international legal system, and we need to call out this assault on the convention for what it is, a display of cynicism and xenophobia." Labour said Braverman was grandstanding and using gay people and women as scapegoats. There's also been a backlash from some in Braverman's own party. Andrew Boff, a long-serving Conservative member of the London Assembly and patron of the LGBT plus Tories, accused her of dog whistles, victim blaming, and to distract from, in his words, the appalling backlog of asylum claims. Over 100,000 asylum claims. I think something like 170,000 asylum claims that they still haven't processed now. One Tory MP who did not want to be named told the BBC that he thought the speech was awful and that unless the Prime Minister gets rid of Cruella, there was a danger that it reflects poorly on him. However, Downing Street has said it signed off on the Home Secretary's speech, so it's pretty much official policy now. Braverman taking her own brand of ultra-right-wing, eye-swivelling hatred of people born in Africa, like her mum and dad, or with South Asian ethnicity, like Braverman, her bad self, and taking it on a world tour. This is the sort of thing the other countries of planet Earth sees of the UK now. A country that has lost its marbles, lost its dignity, and after 13 years of Tory misrule and blithe cruelty, has well and truly lost its way.